locations featuring a couple of teams that many perhaps didn't think would be here at this point, Henry. McDonogh 35 is a team that won their district last year, so we expected them more than Rummel to do well this year, and they've done pretty well, but they'll have to do better to get in.
Well, Kenny, they're kind of been an up-and-down team. They're 4-3 right now. They're 1-1 in their district, but they've certainly been on a roller coaster season. One night they come out and look great. The next night they stink up the place. We just don't know which McDonogh 35 team's showing up tonight.
One thing we do know about them, they have a terrific quarterback in Joey Jones. He leads the district in passing. Parker might be the preeminent receiver in the entire metro New Orleans area. Watch for that combination tonight. As for the Rummel Raiders, this is a team that has surprised many this year, Henry. Started off slowly, but against good competition, lost a couple of tough games. They've rebounded with 3 solid wins in a row. A plastering of Jesuit a week ago, but it was a win over St. Aug that really got them going.
Well, I believe so, Kenny. It really was an impetus to put this team into playoff competition. Rummel has been a team right now that's on a roll. There's no question about it. They're the hottest team in the city right now. The question is whether or not they can focus in a non-district game tonight against the Ron Eagles.
They have got balance. Rick Collada has come on to play extremely well at quarterback. Their running game has really come on strong. Heinz and Quito are the guys there. Defensively, like the old days, only 7 points in the last 3 games they've yielded to this point.
Well, they're playing the super ant defense of the old days. I'll guarantee you they're playing as well as anybody right now. They got great players on defense. They got guys that I think control the line of scrimmage, and they can win the ball game between the tackles.
All right, down on the field for this evening's game is a good friend of mine for many years. You've seen his face, you've heard his voice around New Orleans circles for a long time now, and you'll see him and hear him tonight. Here's Jim Clark. Jim?
Thank you, Kenny. It's a pleasure to be working both with you and Henry. And we'll be keeping an eye on things down here on the sidelines, reporting on injuries and what have you. Last year, the weather played a big factor in this game. The big men kind of got worn out because it was so hot. They played real early in the season. But tonight, the weather is beautiful. Slight wind blowing, temperature about 70 degrees. So heat should be no problem in this game. Again, we'll keep you up to date on what's going on down here on the sidelines. I'm Jim Clark. Now back to you, Kenny.
All right, thank you, Jim. The Rummel Raiders and the McDonogh 35 Ron Eagles set to do battle. And when we come back in just a moment, we'll have tonight's opening kickoff from Joe Yenny Stadium on the Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. Joe Yenny Stadium, a battle between Rummel of 10-5A and McDonogh 35, District 8-5A. Jimmy Quito to kick it off for the Raiders. Deep to receive, Gerard Ezeb and Hakeem Sims, and we're underway. Kick deep toward the sideline and out of bounds. Just missed getting into the corner of the end zone there, so that will be a procedure penalty against Rummel. Quito is a very good kickoff artist. In fact, Rummel has a solid kicking game with Bertucci punting and Quito kicking off, but in this instance, it'll cost Rummel 5 yards. The Raiders wearing red jerseys, red headgear, white pants. McDonogh 35. Well, they've got the maroon headgear, and they've got the yellow gold shirt and pants here tonight. So a colorful game, if nothing else, this evening. But I suspect it will be more because these are two teams that are better than average football teams, each battling for a playoff position.
And Kenny, let me remind the fans out there that this game also has importance toward the wild card, since both of these teams are doing well by playing each other. They're going to get points as a result of this.
All right, Quito to kick it off once again. Hits this one as a line drive, bouncing very effectively into the end zone. That will be a touchback as it rolls out of the end zone. And McDonogh 35 will start from its own 20-yard line on offense. 1st and 10, and we'll check the Ron Eagle offense to get things started. It is a very potent offense for McDonogh 35. As we see the kickoff again. Behind you, you'll see the offensive front for McDonogh 35. Sean Jones, Anderson, Frierson. Sandre Rhodes is hurt. He will not play. Jonathan Sandville replaces him. Kendrick Miller and Jermaine Lewis, the tight end. Joey Jones, outstanding. Hardy, Sims, Hall, and Parker, a big-time receiver. On 1st down, Jones wants to throw right away. He's in trouble and down. At the 12-yard line, sacked. Coming in to make the play for Rummel was 18, the outside linebacker, Steve Applebaum, 6'2", 187-pound senior. Henry, this Raider defense, as we mentioned, has given up just 7 points in 3 games, and they have good size.
Kenny, what they've done right now is they really have come on as the season's gotten better, and I'd like to mention they're not playing with one of their touted people, which was O'Shaughnessy before the beginning of the season. He got hurt, and he hadn't played a district game for him, Ken.
Inside carry to about the 15-yard line. So a pickup of 3 yards on the play. Andrew Hardy on the carry, 39. This is the Rummel defense. Toby Dempsey, the son of Saints Hall of Famer Tom Dempsey. Sean Hummel, a good player. Billy Barron is outstanding. We'll get the rest later on third down, a shovel pass. 15, cut back 20, and that's all. And a kicking situation forthcoming for the Ron Eagles as they are stopped well short of a first down in this situation. Hakeem Sims on the reception. Let's get the rest of the Rummel defense. Dempsey, Hummel, Barron, and Gesser across the front. Kevin Cash, outstanding. Dabdu might be the best linebacker. Clay Patch and Applebaum, who made a big play. Ryan Severa and Roboto in the secondary. On fourth down, Marvin Hooker to punt it away. Big rush. He got it off some kind of way. Ball doesn't go anywhere, however, and McDonogh 35 will down it at about the 46-yard line. The Raiders will start their first possession in McDonogh 35 territory with 10:30 to play. First quarter, no score.
Well, Kenny, that's a big break for the Raiders to get excellent field position here at the 46-yard line of McDonogh 35. So the Raiders, one of the things that I think they have going for them right now is that they have a young quarterback who's a real comer.
As we look at the Rummel offensive front, we watch the Raiders on first down. High formation behind Collada, the pitch to Cuito running left. Cuts it back. Cuito across the 45, fights his way to about the 41, picks up about 5 yards on the play. Jimmy Cuito, leading rusher for Rummel on the season, leads a balanced attack for the Raiders. He's not a big guy, just 5'10", 160, a junior, but a very prideful young man. Plays hard as we watch the offense get off the ball here.
Well, Kenny, it's just a toss sweep, but they're in an unbalanced line. They're in it again right here.
And they give to Johnny Heinz across the 40 to about the 39. He picks up a couple on the play. It will be 3rd and 3. Heinz is a guy who last week was the star of the game against Jesuit when he scored 4 touchdowns in the 42-7 victory.
Well, both plays so far have been from an unbalanced line, and McDonogh 35 has not adjusted their defense at all to the unbalanced. So we'll see what they do here, Kenny. They're in a pro set now, so they're balanced again, so there's no adjustment to be made.
Receivers on either side on 3rd and 3. Give to the tailback, Cuito. No, nothing. He stopped at the line of scrimmage. Penetration defensively by number 85 for McDonogh 35, Kevin Lewis. Rummel is stopped short in a punting situation. In the same situation last week, at about the 32-yard line, they faked a punt for a big play. We'll watch it here. Bertucci is in to punt. He will fake it. The pass is going to be tipped and incomplete. McDonogh 35 waiting on that one. Now a late flag on the play. The ball was tipped by number 49 for McDonogh 35. We'll get that number for you in a second. The flag seemed to be after the play, Henry.
Well, that's right, Kenny. That was Marvin Hooker who actually...
We have a dead ball, personal foul on the goal. We'll have a 1st and 25 situation.
All right, it is a dead ball, so McDonogh 35 will get the football. But again, Henry, you were saying?
It was number 49. It was Marvin Hunter that broke up the pass there. He did a nice job from his linebacker position. He was able to fall off into the flat and actually smelled out the fake punt.
Yeah, it's Marvin Hooker, 49, and it'll be a 1st and 25 as a result of the dead ball penalty. That's what happens when you scout the previous week. They did the same thing last week, and McDonogh 35 obviously saw it last week. The same play worked for about 25 yards a week ago. So the Ron Eagles will get it back, 1st and 25 following the penalty. 8:53 to play in the first quarter, no score. Raiders had great field position there and were unable to capitalize. Joey Jones will get them up to the line of scrimmage. It's a 4 wide receiver set as they really spread you out. Parker wide to the left is the big guy. On first down, they give straight ahead, forget it. Billy Barron is sitting there waiting, all 6'4", 255 pounds of him to stuff this particular play. The ball carrier was Andrew Hardy, the fullback, and he had no chance, Henry.
Well, that's it, Kenny. It's just a straight dive, and they ran right into the strength of Barron, and also Gesser's in there. Kenny, I got to laugh at the Rummel program. They don't give you the heights and the weights like Billy Barron is like a little bitty guy. He's bigger than you and I together, or bigger than me, I should say. Not both of us.
He will remind you of some former star players in New Orleans of the past. We'll get to that on 2nd down in about 25 yards. Jones to throw, has time over the middle, pass is incomplete, intended for Parker. Pretty good coverage on the play. Steve Applebaum was back there for Rummel. We'll see it again.
Well, Kenny runs a curl right. Parker, you had said before, is one of the leading receivers in the city. And Applebaum from his outside linebacker position does a nice job getting the drop, getting in the curl area, just like he's supposed to there, like he's taught, and breaks it up.
Third down, about 25 yards to go. McDonogh 35 from the 25-yard line. Stepping up is Jones. Jones gets away from one man and another. He gets outside. Jones fires his way up to about the 40-yard line, well short of a first down. But a nice run by Jones of 15 yards. So he shows you his speed in that situation.
Well, he's going to have to do that. You're going to see right here, Rummel puts a tremendous amount of pressure. Couple of missed tackles there, but he's able to get outside and show good speed. And of course, you know, he had to make 25 yards to get a first down, so we're playing a 4th and 10 now.
Deep to receive for the Raiders is Mike Ryan. Here's the punt by Hooker. End over end, tough one to handle. Raiders will leave it alone. It will be down to the 29-yard line, and that's where Rummel will start its second possession of the evening with 7:47 to play in the first quarter. No score. Talking about Billy Barron, Henry, he'll remind some of, well, a couple of names come to mind. A guy named Walt Rummel, who played at Rummel, same kind of build and effectiveness as a player, and Roland Barbet, a guy you coached at Holy Cross, built very much the same way if you look at him closely.
Both of them had opportunity, Kenny, to start as sophomores also, which gives them a great advantage.
As does Barron. From the 29 to the 31 on first down is Jimmy Cuito for a pickup of 2. He finds the going tough inside. As the stop is made defensively by Marvin Hooker, 49. It'll be second down and about 8 yards to go. Nice breezy night from Joe Yeti. Rummel going with a no-huddle offense here. Carnegie is wide to the left. The slot man is Desidue, who's in motion now to the right. Again, the I formation. And they give to Heinz, and Heinz is going to get about 3 to the 35 before he is brought down. Again, Hooker was there defensively, 49, and it will be third down and about 5 yards to go as they mark it at the 34.
Well, Kenny, they run the belly there. They do a nice job of doing that. They give it to the fullback. Leading the guard is Darryl Vinzini and Paul Scrafiti in there, and they're doing a great job on the offensive line, as well as Brian McGinnis, number 66.
Again, no huddle on third down and 5 yards to go. Maybe the first pass of the game for Rummel forthcoming as they split the I. Rolling is Collada. Straight bootleg. He has nowhere to go. He's stuffed. Loss of a couple of yards on the play, and there's that man again, Marvin Hooker, coming up to make the play. He has been some player thus far this evening. The Raiders are stopped cold, and it's a punting situation.
Well, Rummel got into a trips into the sideline, and Hooker does a nice job of just coming from his outside linebacker position and enjoys containment, does a good job, forces the punt.
Bertucci to kick it away. What a kick. Look at this. Ezeb backpedals to his 22. Trying to get outside, no way. Great coverage on the play. Holding his ground and making the play was Kevin Cash, 21, an all-district performer for the Raiders. McDonogh 35 will take over. First and 10 from its own 24 with 5:56 to play in the first quarter. Defensive battle thus far. And that really is what we anticipated here this evening.
Well, Rummel has done a nice job so far, but so has 35. Both of them have forced punt possessions here. 35, this is the third time they've had the ball. They have not started, though, with good field position in any one of their possessions.
Hassini Lacey in the slot. Parker wide left, twin receivers right on first down. Jones on the pitch. This is Hakeem Sims trying to get outside. Sims does. He's tripped up after a gain of about 5 to about the 33-yard line. Diving effort by Walter Dabdoob to make the stop. Boy, Dabdoob's put together. He's 6 foot 205, a senior, and he's their best linebacker.
Well, they run a quick toss there to Sims. Sims does a nice job getting outside. You see the outside linebacker leaving his feet there, and that's something you don't want to do as a linebacker. You don't want to leave your feet. That's Steve Applebaum. And Sims picks up 5 big yards on a first down play.
We'll call it 2nd and 6 as they mark it at the 34-yard line. A short 6 at that. Jones under center. Counter play. In trouble nowhere. Ron Eagles are going to have trouble running inside against this big talented Rummel front. 92, Sean Rummel was the first man there defensively.
And he's been around. He's an experienced football player, counter tray, pulling the guard and the tackle. Rummel gets a lot of penetration from his defensive tackle spot and forces a 3rd and long for the Ron Eagles.
Loss of 1 on the play, 3rd down, 7 yards to go, passing situation. Rummel in their nickel package here. The quick pass is dropped. Would have had 1st down yardage. It was there. The pass was incomplete, intended for Hakeem Sims, and the Ron Eagles will have to punt it away. They had the right play called there.
Well, they did, Kenny. They did a nice job of really spreading and getting 4 wide receivers in the ball game. What they're trying to do is hit the seam of the zone. Rummel playing a zone secondary that time. Sims just couldn't hang on to the ball.
Punting duel continues. Low snap. Hooker gets it. He's in trouble. He wants to run. Hooker now looks to throw a man wide open and is caught. Around midfield, gets away from a man. He could go the distance. He may go 25, 20, 15 out of bounds at about the 13. There is a flag down for an ineligible receiver downfield, and this is coming back.
Well, Kenny, they're going to call an illegal receiver downfield or an ineligible receiver downfield. One of the linemen just broke. I was watching the umpire on the
We have an eligible downfield on the passing team. 4th down again.
Paul Mayoral making the call in this situation. And it really does stand to reason, Henry, because of the fact that the play took so long developing.
Well, what should happen there is you're going to see right there.
Yeah, you can see a couple of guys.
You see a couple of guys kind of break containment to get downfield and get in their lanes and cover it. Unfortunately, right now it's going to call it back, though. But a nice play.
Well, a nice job by Hooker of getting the pass to Thurston Roberts, who made some nice moves. What a terrible break for the Ron Eagles in this situation is they turn what looked like disaster into a big play for naught. Again, Hooker will try to punt. Watch the snap this time. This one's right on the money, and they'll get it off in good shape. Line drive kick. Ryan will field it at his 42-yard line to the 45-50. Cuts back to the 45 to the 43-yard line. Nice return by Mike Ryan. And the Raiders will start from the Ron Eagle 43 with 4:27 to play in the first quarter. No score.
We're going to see Ron. He catches the line drive punt right there. He's able to get into the alley. Really a tough one and really a tough, I think really a good running back. Ron is a tough little defensive back also.
Again, no huddle offense on 1st down. Fake by Collada, wants to throw. Stops, throws, deep pass is going to be caught at about the 20-yard line. What a catch on a fine throw as well by Ben McAdam, the tight end. Collada's pass into double coverage was right on the money. 23 yards and a 1st down.
Well, play action pass. Collada just, I mean, he really threads the needle there. Right between both defenders, you see him go right there. And McAdam makes an outstanding catch, and the Raiders now have the first scoring threat of the ball game.
Couldn't make a better throw than that. Great coverage by the Ron Eagles. 1st and 10. Rummel from the 35, 19-yard line. They give to Heinz, forget it. He is absolutely stuffed. Stood up and drilled by number 85, Kevin Lewis. The fine tackle at 5'10", 190 and a junior. Some of the Raider fans on hand this evening, watching their red-hot team in red, trying to get it in the end zone. 3:32 to play first quarter, no score. It's a 2nd and 9 for Rummel. They've been unable thus far to get their running game on track. Single setback, 3 receivers to the left side. Collada wants to roll that way. Stops, looks, delivers, yes. Touchdown, no, to the 1-yard line. 1st down and goal to go, Rummel. The pass right on the money as he hits Joey Desidue to the 1-yard line. And Rick Collada has made this a much better football team, Henry.
Well, you're going to see him roll to your left here, Kenny, and he does a nice job of picking Desidue in the seam. There he is right there, the 3 receivers. Just about gets in there, down to the 1-yard line. Rummel, of course, is in business here, 1st and goal.
Gerald Parker kept him out of the end zone with a nice tackle for the Ron Eagles. 1st and goal, we'll call it the 2. Single setback is Quito. Everybody else is tight. Collada fakes, keeps, forget it. Touchdown, Rummel. Ron Eagles bit on the fake, and the Raiders score. 2:50 to play first quarter. It's 6-0 Rummel.
Nice play there, an outstanding play. They got into a formation in which they got into a slot between the guard and the tackle. Put a backup in there and made like they were going to run a dive in there. Collada Smalley just tucks it underneath his arm, goes in for the score. 6-0 Raiders.
Jimmy Quito to try the extra point for Rummel. And Quito has it up and has it through. Timeout on the field. 2:50 to play in the first quarter with our score. Archbishop Rummel 7, McDonogh 35-0. Back nothing. Ken Trahan, Henry Rando, Jim Clark on the sidelines. Jimmy Quito to kick it off. Deep to receive. Gerard Ezeb and Hakeem Sims for the Ron Eagles. Quito hammers it to about the 8. Fielded there by Ezeb. Ezeb picks his way to about the 25 and is down. Ezeb wrapped up there by number 39, Pablo Renner. And the Ron Eagles will start 1st and 10 as we watch it again from their own 26 officially.
Well, it's a short punt right there. And Ezeb takes it, tries to get something up in the middle, but nothing going in there. Number 39 does a nice job in there, Pablo Renner. Now you see Coach George Schaefer, one of the Rummel assistants, and the drive for the Raiders, Ken, was a 43-yard, 4-play drive. The last 2 yards covered by Collada himself, takes it in on a keeper, 7-0.
3 receivers set this time on first down, bouncing it outside. Sims hit once, hit twice, goes down. Hummel finishes him off after he was bounced around a couple of times. Walter Dabdoob was there, along with Bertucci.
Well, he has nowhere to go there. You see Hummel coming from his off-tackle position. The Raiders are doing a nice job controlling the run. 2nd and 9. They're putting McDonogh in what I would call long situations here. 2nd and long. Being a 2nd and 9, forcing them to have to throw the football.
3 receivers to the wide side of the field. A pitch and a big play defensively. Fumble on the play. He was down, I do believe. Kevin Cash crashed from his linebacking position and just destroyed the ball carrier.
Well, they're just running a toss sweep here. And I mean, Cash does a nice job of coming in from his outside linebacker, a really strong safety position. Nowhere to go for the Ron Eagles.
So it'll be 3rd down, 9 yards to go. Rather, 17 yards to go, pardon me. 3 receivers to the right, a single receiver left. Jones out of the shotgun. Throwing across the grain, pass is going to be incomplete. They say it bounced. Short of a first down nonetheless. And it will be a punting situation. Pass intended for Michael Hall, the senior, but it's a no-go on a punting situation.
Well, Jones does a nice job of just rolling here to his right, lays it out here, and great camera work there. You're going to see that Hall traps the ball and forces the Ron Eagles to their 4th punt here in the first quarter.
Hooker again stands at his 5. Low snap, comes up with it, gets it off quickly. Ryan hustles to get it, fumbles the football. It's loose in Rummel territory. Ryan picks it up. Back to the 35, to the 40. Tries to get outside and is spilled at about the 42-yard line. It's coming up to make the play for the Ron Eagles was Gerald Parker, 42. And the Raiders will start with good field position again from the 42-yard line with 46 seconds to play in the quarter. And thus far, Henry, Rummel's had all of the field position.
Well, that's right, Kenny. Ron just couldn't get a handle on it here, but again, they still come up with good field position. There's a flag on the play, a legal procedure against the Ron Eagles, so we'll see if Rummel's going to make them punt the ball again.
I would think they would because of the short punts that you've been getting and the trouble with the exchanges. Let's get the call for Paul Mayoral.
We have a 6-man line on the goal team. Penalty accepted, 5 yards, 4th down.
Rummel indeed will make the kick again, looking for better field position. Incidentally, McDonogh 35 does not have a first down in their 4 possessions thus far. And Henry, it certainly does look like it's going to be difficult for them to run the football this evening.
Kenny, they kind of, I think, came into the ball game as a throwing team, and all of a sudden they're trying to establish the run. To me, I would try to establish the pass and then go to the run, make Rummel kind of get out of that 4-man front.
Hooker has to have a tired leg at this point. Hits this one short toward the sideline, out of bounds. What a difference. 37-yard line will be the line of scrimmage. That's a 23-yard punt, so Rummel really gets the better of that penalty exchange. 21-yard differential.
Absolutely. Rummel has started, this is their 4th possession, and they've started 3 of them on the plus side of the field from the 46, the 43, and now the 37-yard line of 35. So Rummel certainly has had the better of it as far as the kicking game tonight.
Here's a full house backfield for Rummel. First time we've seen that this evening, and now motion by Guido. Collada in trouble, gets away from one man, but the second two are waiting for him. As they gave him a full house look, and the fake wasn't bought by McDonogh 35. Outstanding play defensively for the Ron Eagles by number 10, Jermaine Lewis, who led the charge along with Kevin Lewis.
I think it's a broken play here. What happens is all the backs go to the right. Collada comes to the camera to the left. There's nobody to pitch to, so he's got to eat it and puts a 2nd and 11 or 2nd and 12.
As the first quarter will come to a close prior to this snap. And at the end of one quarter from Joe Yenny Stadium, here's our score. The Rummel Raiders 7, the McDonogh 35, Ron Eagles nothing. We'll be back with our second quarter of action. Mark on the sidelines. We'll check in with him shortly. Second down, 11 yards to go for Rummel. Again, the full house backfield at the McDonogh 35-38. Collada with the option. Fakes, pitches, Quito, 35-30. Quito fumbles, and McDonogh 35 comes up with it. Hit hard at about the 30. He lost the football, and the Ron Eagles come up with a big play.
Well, Kenny, that was good execution. He just did not hold on to the ball. Collada comes on in here. Dive option, nice job, pitches it out there to Quito. Quito's got a lane, and I mean really a nice hit there. We'll see who that is. I think that's Hooker,
I think
49.
it's Hooker, yeah. Hooker
comes up and puts the lick on him.
Hooker with the hit. It looked like Wesley Taylor with the recovery for McDonogh 35 at about the 28. All right, let's go down to the sidelines now for this report from Jim Clark.
Taking a look at some of the first quarter stats, Rummel had 2 first downs and 1 sack. About the only stat for McDonogh 35 is they had 2 penalty and 1 turnover. And field position seems to be the name of the game here tonight. Now back to you, Kenny.
All right, thank you, Jim. As we speak, we could have got you to mention the fact that it started to rain here at Joe Yenny Stadium, as it is coming directly from our south, and that could be a factor as things develop. We'll see how difficult an element it becomes. Hooker, in fact, was hurt on the play after making the big hit. He's helped off the field, but seems to be okay. Back to live action following the turnover. McDonogh 35 now with the wind at their backs, Henry. Let's see if they elect to go upstairs.
Well, they've had 4 possessions so far, and they've only been able to muster 2 positive yards.
Jones indeed wants to throw. Heavy rush from Hummel. Gets it off deep. Pass is going to be incomplete. Big hit. Pass was hung up there intended for Sims, and the hit was made by Mike Ryan, and I know you like him as a player.
Well, I really do. Kenny, he really comes up and he smacks you. He's not a real big guy. He's only 5'8", 165, but he hits you like a 200-pounder.
Speaking of Ryans, the former head coach of Rummel, George Ryan, now defensive coach of this football team.
Well, that's the baby of the family, and I want to thank his mom for that artichoke.
I thought you might.
Oh, that's great.
Second down and 10 from the 28-yard line. Looks like a draw play it is, and it's going nowhere. Billy Barron just got the penetration, pushing his man straight back. It spills the ball carrier in the backfield for a loss of about 3 yards. Just unable to get anything going in that situation was Lorenzo Nash.
And Kenny, you can just see the penetration there. Just a great job there by the Rummel front 4. 94, Big Bill Barron just in there right now, just controlling the line of scrimmage. Rummel doing a nice job shifting their 4-man line, giving it a 50 look. Now they're in a 3-4.
Good news for Rummel fans. Barron's only a junior. Out of the shotgun, Jones wants to run. He's in trouble, and Barron's got him again. At about the 19-yard line, Big Billy Barron with a sack, and he's just dominating this football game from his nose tackle spot, and McDonogh 35 will have to kick it away.
Well, Jones really doesn't have anywhere to go. Before he can set up, Barron has put the pressure on him. You're going to see him come right in there. Little help out there by David Gesser, also a junior. So Rummel was playing a lot of juniors on defense, and of course that's great things to come in the future.
Hooker has to punt it again, and he hits this one beautifully with the wind in his back over the head of Ryan. Big trouble here for Rummel. Ryan should get away from it. It does. What a kick. It will be down at the Raider 19-yard line. A tremendous punt.
Downfield and that's a punt. For the Ron Eagles.
63 yards officially, no return. How's that?
Well, that just tells you with the winds blowing on out here. I mean, we have a tremendous wind coming from, I would say, from Airline Highway blowing toward West Metairie. You see everybody right now putting out their umbrellas and that, so this weather may be a big factor in this football game as it goes on.
Rummel may elect to keep it on the ground without the wind at their backs as Heinz breaks into the clear. 30, 35, runs into his own man, breaks the tackle. He's at midfield. He's at the 40, the 35, the 25, and down to the 24-yard line. Johnny Heinz on the straight dive play rambles for big yardage and a Raider first down.
Well, that's what you want out of your fullback. You want your fullback to hit it up in there. Heinz does a nice job, finds an opening. He's able to bust a couple of tackles there, and he's able to get out in the front here, and now it's a foot race. Nice job by the senior fullback, Johnny Heinz.
From Lakeshore Playground, 57-yard run by Heinz and a first down. Rummel at the 24-yard line. Quito running left, and he's stuffed. May have lost a yard as he tried to get back to the line of scrimmage, but Marvin Hooker, 49, was there to stop him in his tracks. Thomas Davis there as well. It will be second down and 11 for Rummel. 9:30 and counting here in the second quarter. 7-0 Raiders on top.
I noticed you slipped that Lakeshore Playground in on
me. Of course.
Okay? Being an old Lakeshore Brave yourself, right?
An old Indian. Yeah.
Indian.
Right? An Indian. On second down, Heinz again breaks a tackle across the 20 to about the 19. Maybe the 18-yard line. Johnny Heinz running hard and running well as he did a week ago when he had 4 touchdowns. Charles Gatlin on the stop, the returning starter from defensive end.
And a nice trap there, Kenny, by number 70, Darryl Vinzini. They run that hard dive off the option, off a counter option action. Carlotta really runs that well.
Vinzini's a good story. He's quite a player. He's beaten out a returning starter and senior in Paul Scafidi, who still plays a lot, but you know he had to be good to do that. The straight pitch to Quito, trying to cut it up. Now trying to go outside, breaks one tackle and another. What a determined effort by Quito as he gets it down to about the 15. Looks to be about a yard short of a first down. But what an effort to get 4 yards because there was nothing there.
Well, you see where Johnny Heinz actually went the wrong way, number 6. He was supposed to lead that sweep. So Quito, you can actually say, came out there naked and really did a nice job of picking up a couple of yards. Big play for the Raiders and a bigger play for the Ron Eagles right now on a 4th down. They're going to measure it.
Yeah, he looks to be a little short, but the measurement, the sticks will come across the field. Gilbert Cook finally made the stop, but Quito broke 4 tackles on that play.
Well, we can't get any closer right here. Our cameraman right there. You can actually see the bladder of the ball.
He looks to be a half-yard short, as we surmised. I suspect with a big win in their face, Rummel will go for it here on 4th down and less than a yard, Henry.
Well, they've done a nice job here with this drive, Kenny. It looks like they're bringing in
the offense. They're going to go for it.
They're going to go for it.
From the 15-yard line, Rummel will go for it on 4th and 1. Down to 35. Needs a big play here. Carnegie wide left. Everybody else is tight on 4th down. Who will win the battle of the trenches here?
Well, last time, Carlotta kept the ball when they were inside like this.
He gives it to Quito, who has the first down, but flags are down everywhere, and that's going to work against Rummel, I do believe, and that will change everything.
We have a dead ball, false start on the red team.
That'll cost Rummel 5 yards, and it will change the thinking of Coach Mark Martin.
It'll be 4th and 6.
Well, you can't see the false start there, but what happens is we get some movement in the line before Quito can get the ball. He actually made the first down, a good surge by the offensive line, so we're going to have a little field goal here by Quito.
37-yard attempt out of the hold of Roboto into the wind. Ball down, kick in the air, has the distance. Is it there? It is good. Jimmy Quito drills it. 37 yards. Timeout on the field with 7:52 to play in the first half with our score. Archbishop Rummel 10, McDonogh 35-0. Bunch for many, many years. And they're enjoying what they've seen thus far because Rummel Raiders lead McDonogh 35, 10-0 as Quito will kick it off. Ezeb and Sims are deep to receive for McDonogh 35 with 7:52 to play in the first half.
Well, that scoring possession, Kenny, was a 61-yard drive of 5 plays, capped off by a brilliant 37-yard field goal by Jim Quito.
Again, into the wind, we might mention once again, just to illustrate how effective that was. As he hits it, you can see the wind knock this one down a little bit. It will be fielded at about the 15-yard line. 20, the 25 to the 26-yard line, where the return is 82, Terrence Johnson. Kind of fielded that one over the shoulder. Maybe could have let it go to one of his deep men, Henry. But Johnson does get it to the 26 for McDonogh 35, and that's where they'll get started here. And let's see if that outstanding passing game can get on track here. They haven't really had much time to do so thus far.
No, they haven't. Rummel has done a nice job, I think, controlling the line of scrimmage and really putting a lot of pressure on Jones.
For the Ron Eagles, ball at the 26-yard line.
On the 26-yard line, first down, 10 yards to go. Joey Jones, the quarterback. Twin receivers on either side. Jones wants to throw the quick one, overthrows his intended receiver. Miscommunication there. Wanted to get it to Sims, but the closest man to the ball was Mike Ryan.
Jones's pass incomplete.
It will be 2nd and 10.
You're going to see right now, again, they're trying to hit Sims in the seam of the zone. The ball was just woefully overthrown that time by Jones. He is not having a good night, and of course, I really think Rummel's defense is the reason why.
On 2nd and 10, twin backs in the backfield. And the give to Lorenzo Nash. Breaks a tackle, fumbles, Rummel has it. Coming up with a football on the fumble was Eric Roboto at about the 37-yard line. And the Raiders come up with a big turnover.
Well, it's a little sweep right there. Sims is able to get a little running room. But what happens, Kenny, is all of a sudden now...
Billy Barrett knocked it out right there.
Knocked it right there. And Roboto comes up from his defensive secondary position. He plays a free safety. And the Raiders, again, an excellent field position, the ball resting on the 38-yard line.
Barrett made the second hit. What a job hustling from upfield to make that second hit and force the fumble. He's been some player tonight. Play fake by Collada. Has time. Looks deep over the middle. Pass caught. Carnegie will score. And Rummel takes a 16-0 lead. 37 yards. Collada to Carnegie. And the Raiders take a 16-0 lead with 6:45 to play in the half.
Well, play action pass. Collada, he just lays it right there in the seam. Nice job there. Carnegie picks it off. Gerald Parker does not see the ball. The free safety for the Ron Eagles. And it's a 37-yard touchdown pass.
Collada is perfect thus far on the night. Guido will try the extra point. Out of the hold of Roboto. Snap good, ball down, and the kick is perfect. Timeout on the field with 6:45 to play first half, and Rummel very impressive. They lead McDonogh 35, 17-0. Back in a year ago, you know, it's kind of tough for a guy coming back as a senior to be asked to move. He not only has moved, he came into this game as the second leading receiver in District 10-5A, and he shows us why on that 37-yard touchdown reception from Collada, and he made a great adjustment to the football.
Well, it goes to show you what type of character he is. A lot of people would have resented that move. This kid has a lot of character, and not only does he have a lot of character, but he's an excellent young man, and he showed a lot of, I think, a lot of humility by able to do that. You know, most people will not go from a quarterback position to a wide out as a senior. You can just say nothing but good things about Kevin.
Here's a nice return by Gerard Ezeb. Nice job of finding some running room, splitting the seam there, and being brought down at about the 34-yard line. That's the best field position they've had thus far tonight to start a drive. That'll tell you how rough they've had it. Kind of tough to get that passing game on track with the field position they've had. Let's see if they can do it here. On first down, Jones will give it to Hakeem Sims. Nice hole, cuts it inside. First down, McDonogh 35 to about the 47-yard line before Walter Dabnube can make the stop. Well, that's what they like to do with the running game, Henry. They like to spread you out and do this.
Well, that's right, and Sims is able to find the hole. Actually, that's the first down in the ball game for the Ron Eagles, so hopefully they'll get something going here. Coach Johnson would like to get something going here to try to get a couple of points on the board.
I remember those days. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Ron Eagles with Joey Jones in shotgun formation and twin receivers on either side once again. They fake, Jones gets outside. He can run if he chooses, but throws man wide open. 45-40. 35, breaks a tackle inside the 30, down to about the 27-yard line with a catch and run. Outstanding play for McDonogh 35. And coming up with it was Erston Roberts. We'll see it again.
Well, what happens is Rummel has a safety blitz or a corner blitz called. Cash comes in a little too tight. He's a little anxious on it. Jones is able to break containment, and he finds Roberts in the flat and picks up their second consecutive first down.
To the 26, quick slant, incomplete. Intended for Erston Roberts. Hustling over there to get to the play was David Claypatch, the inside linebacker for Rummel. It will be 2nd and 10.
We have a timeout. Raiders on the field, Ken.
Rummel will take timeout here to get their defense straight. We'll keep it right here with 5:16 to play in the second quarter. 17-0 Rummel, but the Iran Eagles with a chance to get in it right here.
Well, Kenny, one of the things they have to do is hold on to the football. That's about the third drop of the afternoon, or the evening, I should say. And
almost all of them on the same play. The quick hitch there. All right, with 5:16 to play, second quarter, 17-0 Rummel. Let's go down to the field now for this report from Jim Clark.
Well, the Ron Eagles have finally got something going. They've had terrible field position all afternoon or all evening long. So far, they've had 2 penalties, 2 first downs compared to the 5 for the Rummel Raiders. One of those penalties very, very costly for the Ron Eagles of McDonogh 35. Some great action, some great football, and we hope that the Ron Eagles can get things started as they're doing now. Now back to you, Kenny.
All right, thanks, Jim. Second down, 10 yards to go. McDonogh 35 from the Rummel 26-yard line, wide side, the left side of the field. Anthony Parker's been held without a catch thus far. He's wide to the right. McDonogh 35 gets their offense set up. Jones wants to throw. Fakes, gets outside again. Can run if he chooses. He will loft it out there. Caught at the 15 and knocked out of bounds, but he looks to have a first down on the play. Coming up with a catch was number 86, Michael Hall. And an apparent first down, Devin Severo on the stop.
well, Hall does a nice job of breaking his route there. He sees that Jones is breaking containment, and he just breaks it off into the sideline, picks up the first down, keeps the drive alive.
4 receivers set once again. Out of 35, really spreading them out and having some great success on this possession. We're under 5 minutes to play in the half. Jones operating almost exclusively out of shotgun formation, and Barron comes across early. Was he drawn? I don't think so.
Well, Kenny, Jones picks his leg up as if he's going to put a guy in motion. Nobody has gone in motion yet when he does that, and I really believe Barron is watching that, and that's what brought him offside.
Dead ball, encroachment on red.
5 yards and a first down from McDonogh 35 at the Rummel 15-yard line. Great situation here for the Ron Eagles, trying to climb back in it. The gift to Sims, fumbles the ball. He comes up with it, though, however, at about the 12-yard line. Looked like he had some running room there, but didn't handle the handoff. Was alert enough to fall on it.
Right, it's just a handoff off what we call the shotgun there. Jones is leading the play, but couldn't get a handle on it.
From the 13, 2nd and 3 with 4:15 to play in the half. Jones will roll right. He drops the football, picks it up, goes the other way, and nobody's home. He's at the 10. He's down to the 5, fumbles out of bounds at that point, and has a first down for the Ron Eagles. What a strange play that was. The hit finally made by David Gesser forced the fumble, but this one looked bad from the start, but it ended up good.
Well, it really did, Kenny, and I think McDonogh ought to call timeout here and put a handle on the ball or something, because they certainly can't hold on to it. Nobody's hitting. You won't watch here. Jones just loses the ball again. Slippery little sucker.
First down, goal to go, 35 from the Rummel 4. Again, the spread set. And flags are down. This will be procedure, I do believe, against the Ron Eagles. Side judge with the call.
Got a dead ball foul lining up in the neutral zone on the red team.
Oh, it's on Rummel, in fact. Lining up in the neutral zone. That'll cost the Raiders half the distance to the goal line here. Mark the football at the 2 where it'll be first and goal. 4 pops from the 2 basically here.
Well, that's a critical penalty there. You know, lining up in the neutral zone, all you got to do is watch the ball, make sure your hand doesn't come or your head comes across into that area there. So that's a bad alignment by the Raider defense and a real mental mistake.
4:02 to play in the quarter. First and goal here for McDonogh, 35 from the Rummel 2. Jones rolling right. Stops, throws across the grain, touchdown. Great throw and catch, flag down. Late hit on Rummel, it won't matter. The touchdown pass to Anthony Parker, his 10th touchdown reception of the season. And we'll see it again. Great job here by Jones.
Well, it is. He really holds the ball. He waits for the right moment for Parker to break loose. There he is, 84 in the end zone. 35 is back in the ball game here. And we have a penalty that'll probably be assessed on the kickoff.
The extra point forthcoming. Sondre Rhodes, who is hurt, will kick. Won't play from scrimmage tonight, but will kick, and he drills this one through. So a timeout on the field with 3:55 to play in the first half with our score, McDonogh 35-17 and Rummel 7. Back in just a moment with more first half action. Now leading 17-7 following that last score. Ed Trahan with Henry Rando and Jim Clark from Joe Yenny Stadium.
Well, Kenny, it was a 7-play, 66-yard drive for the Ron Eagles. Jones throwing a 2-yard pass to Anthony Parker, his 10th of the year, and at a 17-7, Archbishop Rummel.
Sondre Rhodes will kick it off. Mike Ryan and Jimmy Quito deep to receive. Quito does a little bit of everything for this Rummel team, as does Ryan. Rhodes hits it. They let it bounce. Now it's picked up by Quito to the 20. Finds a seam, 25, 30 to about the 32. Turns it into a pretty good return after initially letting it bounce, which was a mistake, but Rummel comes out of it all right. 3:46 to play in the first half. They'll have the football, first and 10 from their own 32.
Well, Quito's able to find a little bit of a spot there, not much. Gets the ball up to the 32-yard line. Rummel now with 3:40 remaining in the half has to get something going here and control the ball.
Desidue wide to the left side. Carnegie to the right on first down. Heinz on the dive for about 4 to the 36. A solid fullback in a tradition of Rummel upbacks. Henry, he's not a real big guy, but he's a guy that plays bigger than he is.
Well, that's right, Kenny. You know, what he does is he's able to get those 2-3 yards for you on the hard dive. Tommy Davis makes the stop here, but he certainly does a nice job of getting positive yardage. You're not going to knock him in the backfield for a loss.
2nd and 6 from the 36-yard line. And again, Heinz to about the 39. A gain of 3 here will be 3rd and 3. As the clock continues to wind. Making the stop, Thomas Davis, the 250-pound senior once again. And a 3rd and 3 here for the Raiders. All in about the middle of the field at the 39-yard line.
Well, we'll see if Collada comes on out. Right now, they're unbalanced to the top of your screen with 3 receivers.
Counter play, Quito. Can he get there? Yes, and more. Nice cut. 50, 45. Look at Jimmy Quito. Out of bounds at about the 12-yard line on a terrific run. Jimmy Quito busts it for Rummel.
Well, you're going to see right there, really nice job on a counter. Quito, fine blocking by Gary Anderson and Curtis Matthews, both big people coming in there doing their job. Quito shows, I think, adequate speed. Kenny does a nice job of picking up a big chunk of yardage for the Raiders.
48-yard run officially for Jimmy Quito to the McDonogh 35. 13-yard line. Yeah, you're right. Both Heinz and Quito don't have great speed, but they've got plenty adequate speed. They've got quickness, and what a nice cutback he made there to make that play. On the 13-yard line, again, the I formation. Collada broken play in trouble, and he's down. And Collada may have gone the wrong way there.
Well, I think he did. Listening to our left over here, you're going to see Collada comes out there really naked. The backs went the other way, so unfortunately he had nobody there to pitch to but gold shirts.
Dwayne Gehring on the stop, a loss of about 4, 2nd down. We'll call it 14 yards to go, so a big play there for the Ron Eagles. I formation behind Collada with 1:47 and counting. Give to Heinz. He has a hole. Heinz inside the 10, down to about the 7-yard line, a pickup of 8. It'll be 3rd down and about 5 for Rummel. The Raider offensive line, Henry, is beginning to take control.
Well, you see right there, they do a nice job of folding up inside, bringing a tackle and a guard, exchanging positions up inside there. Nice job by Darryl Vinzini and also the center, Brian McGinnis.
And by Gary Anderson, who made a nice block. On 3rd and 4 to give to Heinz. Breaks a tackle, scores! Johnny Heinz off the right side, and Rummel takes a 23-7 lead with 1:15 to play in the half.
Just a trap inside. Nice job, good execution. Heinz puts it in there, and he's really done a nice job here in this drive, Johnny Heinz.
Quito will come on to try the extra point with 1:15 to play in the half. Again, Roboto will hold, and this Rummel offense is hitting on all cylinders here this evening as they did a week ago. High snap, good job by Roboto of getting it down, and Quito misses it. Missed it to the right. So the snap a little high kind of affected that one, and extra point attempt fails with 1:15 to play in the first half. Our score 23-7. Rummel on top. Another big play features that particular drive for the Raiders, who go 68 yards to get the score. And I know you're impressed with these Rummel backs thus far, Henry.
Oh, I am, Kenny. It only took him 6 plays to go the 68 yards. The last 6 by Quito, but he really does a nice job. I mean, by Johnny Heinz that time. He really does a nice job of hitting inside, so they got what I call great balance. They do a good job of keeping you honest inside, and yet Collada can come on outside, pitch the ball to Quito, and they throw the ball, I think, adequate enough. They don't throw the ball a lot, but they keep you honest by throwing the ball enough times that you have to respect them.
Something they've done better as the season has gone on, in fact.
Well, Collada's nothing going to do but get better. As he's just a sophomore, I really look for great things from him. He's really changed this offensive football team for Rummel, and they're able to open up their offense quite a bit.
Comes from a football family, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. His dad was an all-state player at Holy Cross in 1963 and led the Tigers to a state championship. So it's amazing. In 93, this kid will be a senior, so it'll be interesting.
Quito kicks it off. It hits the ground and is fielded back to about the 25-yard line, maybe the 26 with a football for McDonogh. 35 was number 80, Gerald Ezeb. Ezeb gets it out to about the 26. That's where McDonogh 35 will start with 1:09 to play in the half. And they'll have to go up top to get it done here.
Well, they have not enjoyed good field position. Matter of fact, they have not started a possession on the plus side or in Rummel territory the whole first half. They have a minute or so left to go in this half, so let's see what Jones can do here.
High snap. He comes up with it, gives it off to Sims, and he's down at the line of scrimmage. Nice play by David Claypatch, the 5'10 senior. Spills Sims at the line of scrimmage. It will be 2nd and 10. And a timeout taken by the Ron Eagles here with 50 seconds remaining in the half. Well, McDonogh 35, Henry, came in at 4-3, 1-1 in District 8 5A. Raiders at 4-3, 3-1 in District 10 5A, but winners of 3 in a row. Last year, McDonogh 35, 8-2, 7-0. They won their district, lost to Central Lafourche in the playoffs, and these are 2 pretty good football teams.
Well, I think both of these teams are destined for postseason play. Gives us a chance to see both of them right now, so I really believe that come late November, both of these teams are still going to be alive somewhere.
Teams back onto the field now at 50 seconds to play in the half. 2nd down and 10 for McDonogh 35. Again, Joey Jones operating out of that shotgun virtually all evening. Duran Frierson has the job of snapping that football. Hits it to him in good shape. Rolling right. Stops, throws over the middle. Man open and complete. Pass was too tall for the intended receiver, who was open on the play. That was number 1, and I don't have him listed, unfortunately. Try to find out who that is for you shortly. It'll be 3rd down and about 10 yards to go as we see it again.
Well, Jones just comes back there and he tries to hit one on a dragging pattern, and he had beaten his man. Rummel playing a man-to-man underneath.
Jones with a snap with time, throws over the middle. The pass is caught on a first down up around midfield. and it's number 1 coming up with it. We'll try to find out who that is. Pass is good for 24 yards and a first down at the 49-yard line.
Rummel's just going to go right now into a 3-man front. They're going to play a 3-deep zone with a man underneath, man on each of the 4 wide receivers, and a 3-man rush. So Jones should have a little time here.
Dede does, over the middle, pass incomplete, and what a shot. Oh, you knew that was coming. Dabdoob was sitting back there waiting and put the leather to him. It will be 3rd down and 10 yards to go from the 49 with 20 seconds left in the half. All right, here's a pass to Erston Roberts. Wants to double pass it. Flag down. Roberts will run. He has a first down and more and goes out of bounds at about the 38-yard line.
It's complete to Erston Roberts. Roberts out of bounds.
So Roberts out of bounds, and the flag will work against McDonogh 35.
Well, it's an illegal shift. Possibly 2 men in motion or not enough men on the line of scrimmage.
So a 5-yard penalty. It'll be 3rd down and 15 yards to go. Penalty will mark the football back in Ron Eagle territory, about the 45-yard line. Again, the prevent defense for Rummel with 11 seconds to play in the half. This could be the final play of the half. Jones with the snap. With time, now rolls out of the pocket. Runs toward the sideline, and he will go out of bounds with about 2 seconds to play in the half. 1 second left on the clock officially, but it will be 4th down at the Rummel 46-yard line. Time for one more play, and there's no need to kick it here with 1 second left. They'll simply take a shot deep, I would think, with the wind at his back, Henry.
I'm sure that's what they're going to do. Kenny, they're going to go ahead and try to just go ahead and maybe send Parker deep or Michael Hall deep. Rummel's going to take a timeout, talk about it.
Which is a good thing to do when you have it and the half's about to end. Get your defense set up the way you want it with 1 play remaining. Next week, we'll venture into District 9 5A, Jefferson Parish Public School League, where the rejuvenated, revamped West Jefferson Buccaneers will battle the East Jefferson Warriors from Haas-Memphis Stadium. Well, you just have to take your hat off to Byron Jones and the job he's done. His team started the season 0-5, Henry, and they've ripped off 3 wins in a row against good competition.
Well, it really is, and it's a great week to have on Halloween week because this team has certainly, risen with the Goblin and the Ghosts. Unbelievable. I mean, they were 0-5 at the beginning of the year. They've won 3 straight ball games. They beat a good Higgins team as well as a very fine Era team. They're back into, I think playoff contention. Coach Jones certainly has done a great job of keeping these guys together, and as he said, they're starting to believe.
All right, 1 second remaining. Teams back on the field. 4th down, 6 yards to go. Forthcoming for McDonogh 35. And a trip set right. 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. A single receiver left. Joey Jones with the snap. Will have the time he needs to air it out. Stops. He will deliver it deep toward the end zone. Jump ball situation, knocked down incomplete by Kevin Cash, and the half comes to a close at Joe Yeti Stadium. An impressive half of football for the Rummel Raiders as they lead the McDonogh 35 Ron Eagles 23-7. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Our halftime show including first half highlights in just a moment on the Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. 7. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Jim Clark as the Rummel Band and Chapelettes perform. We've already been entertained by the McDonogh 35 band. What a good band it is. Their dance team as well. Well, the first half of fireworks. We've seen a lot of scoring thus far. Rummel got it started. Rick Collada with a 2-yard run. Jimmy Cuito's extra point was good, and it was 7-0. And then Cuito came back and kicked a 37-yard field goal into the wind to give the Raiders a 10-0 lead. That set the stage for this big play for Rummel, which really established control for the Raiders, as we'll watch Ricky Collada pass 37 yards to Kevin Carnegie.
Well, it's just right there. It's just a seam route. Carnegie does a nice job of getting across the middle. catches the ball and goes in, and really virtually untouched. Nice job by both the pitcher and the catcher.
The extra point was good by Quito, and it was 17-0 at that point, and Rummel had established total control at the line of scrimmage, both running and passing the football. That was a one-play drive, 37 yards for the score. We look at some of the numbers from the first half. Rummel dominant running the football, 20 carries, 155 yards. Down at 35, 14 carries for 48 yards. Ricky Collada, 3 of 4 passing for 77 yards and a score. McDonogh 35's Joey Jones, 5 of 15 for 69 yards and a touchdown, including this touchdown pass. Joey Jones with a nice job rolling out as he hit Anthony Parker.
Well, here you're going to see right there that Jones is going to go ahead and make a nice play, Kenny. He rolls to his right, is able to pick the play up.
Well, we didn't see it, but that was a 2-yard touchdown pass from Jones to Parker. I think what we saw there was the extra point actually by Sondre Rhodes. That made it 17-7. Our apologies. Rummel would then come back to make it 23-7 just before the half. The Raiders just moving the football, as we mentioned, some of those numbers. 233 yards for the Raiders, or 232 yards in the first half officially. McDonogh 35 had 117 yards, not bad. Raiders with a couple of sacks in the first half, penalties in the first half, 4 for Rummel for 17 yards. The Round Eagles had 3 for 25. Each team with a turnover in the first half of play. First couple of possessions, a punting duel, but then Rummel got it going, as we've shown you, and they closed out the scoring in the first half on this 8-yard run by fullback Johnny Heinz.
Well, he just hits the hard dive. It's a nice trap in there, and Heinz takes it in the end zone. Vizzini does the trapping up front, and boy, the Raiders right now, Kenny, I think that right now their front five is as good as anybody's.
Heinz, 9 carries, 92 yards, a touchdown in the first half. Quito, 7 carries for 67 yards. Quito, a perfect 3 of 3 passing, 77 yards, and a very impressive first half for the Rummel Raiders, who lead it over McDonogh 35, 23-7. We'll take time out here, and when we come back in just a moment, we'll have the opening kickoff for the second half. Top of McDonogh 35, 23-7. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Jim Clark. Raiders dominating the first half, leading by 16, with the teams just about set to come out on the field for the start of the second half of play. Rummel's offensive line dominant in the first half. They control the line of scrimmage, played extremely well, but they do have a problem heading into the second half with one of their best offensive linemen. For that report, let's go down to the field. Jim Clark has an update on an injury. Jim?
Kenny, number 66, the starting center for the Rummel Raiders, Brian McGinnis, was shaken up on one of the last plays in the second quarter. I didn't know where he was for about 5 minutes, but they put ice on him, and he seems to be coming around. They're going to hold him out, though, as long as the score remains this way, to make sure that he's okay. But if they need him, he says he'll be ready. Kenny, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jim, for that report. McGinnis sits on the bench as Mark Martin lectures his football team as they are crowded around him. The officials waiting for the start of the second half. Another number on the bench down there was 98, Ryan O'Shaughnessy, a 6'5", 220-pounder who unfortunately for Rummel appears out for the year with an ankle injury. He's a guy that had been moved to tight end from linebacker and really gave this team a different dimension offensively, but he'll be missed, but Rummel obviously has played well without him. Incidentally, the backup center for Rummel on the 2 deep is Kyle Arsenault, 57, so we'll probably see him in the second half here as the second half is about to begin. And McDonogh 35 will kick it off to the Raiders, who will have the wind at their backs for the third quarter. Henry?
Well, Kenny, it'll be interesting to see what they do, if they do anything different. They've really moved the ball at will the first half. Like you said, there'll be a new center in the ball game. Arsenault comes in the ball game replacing McGinnis. So we'll just see what the Raiders do. I kind of got a kick out of Coach Martin there, the way he was lecturing his team. I thought maybe he was behind 23-6 instead of, 23-7 instead of ahead. I mean, he was really fired up and getting these guys ready to go.
All right, kicking it off for McDonogh 35 is Sondre Rhodes, and deep to receive Mike Ryan and Jimmy Quito for the Raiders, as we're just about set for the start of the second half. Rhodes hits it, fielded at the 18-yard line. Straight up the field, about the 26 is Cash, and a nice tackle on the play by Hooker, it appeared. And the Raiders will put it in play. 1st and 10 for the 26. Rummel offensive front, Anderson is a stud. Matthews, Vizzini, and Scafidi plays there as well. Clayton Mooney, Ben McGann, the tight end. The center, of course, McGinnis is hurt. Kalata, the quarterback, he's been excellent. Heinz and Quito have been excellent. Carnegie with a touchdown, and Desidue the split end. On first down for Rummel. The pitch to Quito running right, cuts it in. Quito dropped after a gain of about a yard or two. It will be second down and about 8 yards to go. The tackle made by Kevin Lewis, a flag down on the play in the Rummel backfield.
Well, Rummel opens up with an unbalanced line right off the beginning. They come out there to try to outflank 35.
Penalty is going to be marked off here against McDonogh 35, it appears. So we look at the Ron Eagle defense. Gatlin, Lewis, Davis, and Gehring across the front. Hooker's been all over the place. McLeod, Rhodes is hurt, not playing. Taylor is in there as well. Cook, Jabari Boyd, and Terrell Parker, the secondary. 1st and 5, Rummel from the 32-yard line following the 5-yard mark-off. Arsenault over the football, replacing McGinnis. The give to Heinz. Heinz is going to be hit and dropped. Short gain on the play, maybe 2 yards. 72, Thomas Davis on the stop. It will be second down and about 4. Give him a gain of 1.
What's interesting thus far, Rummel has come out an unbalanced line. You see right there, 72, Curtis Matthews doing the trapping on the belly there to the fullback. So big second down play now for Kalata.
Second down, 4 yards to go. The 32-yard line, the line of scrimmage with Desidue, the motion man, and they give to Heinz. Heinz fires straight ahead and has a first down for Rummel. Up to about the 38-yard line, Johnny Heinz hits it in there quick. That's the thing about him is he is straight ahead and he gets a good burst going. He's very quick off the ball. 57, Corey McLeod, a returning starter on the stop.
Kenny, you're right. That's one of the things Heinz really has going for him is his acceleration. His first 2 or 3 steps is outstanding. When they run the trap inside, they run the hard dive, he's right there on the line of scrimmage immediately.
Heinz is out on this play. Pablo Renner is in at fullback on 1st and 10 from the 38. Guido slips. Kalata has to keep. He has some speed. Kalata gets it outside across the 40 to about the 46-yard line. He makes about 8 yards off of a play that was broken. You see the athletic ability of Rick Kalata. He really adds something to this football team.
Well, that's right. A good athlete can make a bad play into a good play, and that's what Kalata did just then. He's able to make that play and pick up positive yardage. So the Raiders are going to take time out here, Ken.
With 10:02 to play, third quarter, timeout. Rummel with our score. The Archbishop Rummel Raiders 23, McDonogh 35-7. Back in just a moment from Joe Yenny Stadium on the Cox Cable. 3-7 the score, and Henry Kyle Arsenault, who came in to back up the injured Brian McGinnis, seems to have hurt an ankle. He's in pain. He's going to try to stay in the game here. Helmet off. He will limp back onto the field in this situation. You can see the limp pronounced, and got a close-up of him during the commercial, and he was in pronounced pain, so we'll watch him closely.
It's kind of crazy, Kenny, how things can happen to you. You can go all season without an injury, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 and it hits you all in one position, which is the worst kind of thing that can happen to Rummel.
Second down, 2 yards to go, the 46-yard line. Off the fake, Kalata throws the slant right there to Carnegie. He's going to go all the way. Evan Carnegie, 54 yards and a touchdown for Rummel.
Really a nice job by Carnegie. He's able to split the corner and the safety and just really outruns everybody else. Once he did that, he was just in the open. So Rummel strikes fast here in the beginning of the third quarter. There it is right there. It's just a slant. He's able to hit the seam. Kevin Carnegie, 5'10", 160 senior, scores his second touchdown of the night.
And an injury on the play to a Ron Eagle player as we look at Carnegie coming off the field. Carnegie comes from a football family. His dad, a football coach for many years, and a nice guy as well, Tom Carnegie. Trying to pick out the number of the injured Ron Eagle. Can't quite make it out at this point. That's why
Kenny, I think it's Gerald Parker. I'm not sure. 42, yes. No, it's number 8.
It's not. It's number 8, Jabari Boyd,
yes.
the left cornerback who tried to make the stop on the play and could not do so. Good look at Carnegie. The extra point forthcoming. Kalata right behind him is perfect on the night. He's having a big night. A couple of candidates for our Cox Cable AAA Trophies Player of the Game. right, Quito will try the extra point out of the hold of Roboto. Low snap. They get it up. And the kick is good. Good job by Roboto. Quito finishes the deal. Timeout on the field with 9:52 to play third quarter. And the Raiders now have a 30-7 lead over the Ron Eagles. We'll be back in just a moment. More of our Cox Cable Prep Football. Ken Trahan, Henry Rando, Jim Clark. Quito will kick it off. Sims will be deep for McDonogh 35 along with Gerard Ezeb. Quito hits it low, a bouncer, a tough one to handle, toward the sideline into the end zone, and a touchback. So an effective kick by Jimmy Quito. It's another reason this Rummel football team is a good team, Henry. They've got a solid kicking game.
Yes, they have, Kenny. They've done a nice job with their special teams. PAT field goal is solid. Their kickoff, punt return, punt teams are excellent. And, of course, that's 1/3 of the game, and that's why they're where they are right now because of that.
All right, Joey Jones and the Ron Eagles will have to get it cranked up here, trailing 30-7. 9:52 to play third quarter. They certainly have the capability of doing so, as they will go to a 3-receiver set and 2 setbacks here. Jones in the shotgun again with the snap and the handoff to Sims. Sims cuts it back inside and is hit hard. Kevin Cash is there to meet him along with Walter Dabdub as they put the leather to him. A couple of hard hitters, perhaps the 2 hardest hitters on that Raider defense.
Well, you're right, Kenny. Both of them, you're going to see right there, it's just a little sweep from the shotgun. And both Dabdub and Cash converge on Sims, do a nice job, bring him down there. 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5.
Of course, you might remember Alan Dabdub, the older brother of Walter, was a good offensive lineman for Rummel just a couple of years ago. 2nd and 5 here from the 25. Always like to touch on those family angles. Henderson in motion, and now the give to Andro Hardy. Forget it. Hardy spilled in the backfield. Penetration there by 95, David Gesser. Play patch was there as well. No gain officially. They mark it at 25. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Ron Eagles needing to convert in this situation. Rummel goes to a 3-deep alignment here on 3rd and 5.
Well, Rummel's been real effective with this on 3rd and long. They play man underneath with a 3-deep zone. They only rush 3 people, if you see right there, a nose tackle and 2 outside tackles, and they've been very effective.
On 3rd and 5, stepping up is Jones. He wants to run. Jones is in trouble. He's hit down. Jones nowhere to go as he is hit rock solid by Mike Ryan. Jones is slow to get up after that hit. Let's hope he's okay. Looks to be okay as he rises now and will trot off of the field. It'll be 4th down. All right, let's go to Jim Clark now, who's got a very special guest with him. Jim?
You never know who you're going to run to in the stands, and I've just run into one of the greatest kickers of all time, Tom Dempsey. Tom, how are you today?
Doing great. We're winning the ball game, so I'm happy.
Okay, your son is number 83, Toby Dempsey. Give us your thoughts on the game so far.
Well, we're playing a pretty fair ball game. You know, our quarterback, Ricks, looked extremely well today. They threw the ball on us there at the end of the half, which wasn't real good. But all in all, we're playing pretty well.
All right, well, it's great to see you, and good luck to the Rummel Raiders.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jim. My good friend Tom Dempsey, Henry, our Saints Hall of Famer, enshrined in Rivertown, Kenner. Good man, and he's got a son that's a pretty good football player, getting better all the time in Toby Dempsey. Now, Marvin Hooker really put a hit on Mike Ryan on that kick return. This Hooker is some football player.
Yes, he is, Kenny. He's one of the bright spots for the Ron Eagles.
1st and 10, Rummel, big hole. Sprouting to about the 35-yard line is Christian Harvey, the 5'10 sophomore, who the Raider coaches like. He's had a chance to play late in games and has always been impressive as he sprints for about 7. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Well, Kenny, he just takes the dive right here from his tailback position, and he runs right up the middle there. Nice job by the young sophomore Harvey, and he'll get a lot of playing time, it looks like. The Raiders are putting in some of their younger players here middle of the 3rd quarter.
Quito in motion, and the give to Harvey running left, this time down after a gain of a yard. Penetration by 72 Thomas Davis defensively, along with 52 Dwayne Gehring. It'll be 3rd down, about 2 yards to go from the 34. 6:43 and counting, third quarter. Rummel on top, 30-7. Wide to the right is Pedro Valladares. Everybody else is tight. 8-man front for 35. Collada fakes, cuts back, and he is in trouble and down. The 37-yard line is, that one didn't look real good.
Well, Kenny, it looked like he started to roll out to his left. Matter of fact, it didn't look like it. He actually did, and then decided to change his direction. You're going to see right here. He fakes it here, gets a little penetration, tries to return back to his left, and Dwayne Gehring is right there to make the play.
High snap over the head of Bertucci. He has to run it down. He's in trouble and gets it off. What a job. Terrific kick. Look at this. Look at this. All the way to the end zone, unfortunately. But what a job by Ronnie Bertucci. Running that thing down and getting off a first-class kick. And McDonogh 35 will take over 1st and 10 from its own 20.
Well, 35 didn't have a rush on at all. If they'd have had any kind of rush on that time, you're going to see Bertucci right there, goes back, got time to kick the ball. He gets off a 60-yarder, rolls into the end zone, and just a great play there by Bertucci.
These two teams had a common opponent earlier this season. McDonogh 35 played St. Aug, lost to them 16-12 in a very close game. Rummel, of course, beat St. Aug 3-0, really got them going on the season.
Well, there's no question that game was the impetus to put Rummel where they are right now. It's a big win over St. Augustine.
All right, two backs with Jones to give to Sims, trying to get outside, and will. Sims with running room, stops, cuts back, gets it up to about the 29, maybe the 30. He's close to a first down on the play. They have a measurement forthcoming as David Gesser runs him down.
Well, they've got good yardage out of this little sweep from the shotgun. You see, Hakeem Sims was able to get outside, and of course, a host of Rummel Raiders over there.
And a first down for McDonogh 35 at the 30. 4 receivers set. Jones to throw. Sideline has a man wide open, and he breaks it. He's going to go, I do believe. This will be a touchdown for McDonogh 35. 70 yards and a score, and it's Anthony Parker. Who else? His 11th touchdown catch of the season. And just like that, it's 30-13.
Kenny, that was a nice move. All he did was just run a streak down the sideline. You're going to see it right here. And that's Parker right there. He's going to put a move on Rabondo there, and it's all over. See you later, fans. It's 7.
So the Ron Eagles, who are very capable of striking fast, do so here. Sondre Rhodes to try to tack on the point and cut it to 16. Rhodes hits it hard and hits it true. Timeout on the field with 5:16 to play in the third quarter with our score. Archbishop Rummel 30, McDonogh 35-14. Back in just a moment with Jim Clark, and the Ron Eagles struck quickly, Henry.
Well, Kenny, it only took them 2 plays. They went 80 yards. The last, of course, was a pass from Jones to Parker, covering 70 yards. What a play, and the Ron Eagles now are back into the ball game 30-14.
All right, here's the kickoff by Sondre Rhodes, forthcoming. Hits it high. Cash will field it at the 16. Up the middle. Dives across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. That's where Rummel will start this possession with 5:10 to play in the third quarter, leading 30-14.
Well, all Rummel's got to do now is reestablish the line of scrimmage, take some time off of the clock here where we've got 5:10 remaining in the third quarter. What they don't want to do right now is turn the ball over and give the momentum to McDonogh 35.
Derek Finister, 14 on the stop there. Full house backfield behind Collada on first down. Straight ahead, fighting for about 2 is Johnny Heinz. And a good play by Wesley Taylor, the 5'8" sophomore from his linebacker spot, makes the stop. Will be 2nd and 8.
Kenny, it just shows you, though, really how capable McDonogh 35 is. They can score at any time. Parker, you had mentioned prior to the ball game what a great receiver he is, and he really showed it on that particular play.
2 catches in the game, both for touchdowns tonight. 2nd down 8 yards to go. Again, the full house backfield. Quito in motion. And the give to Christian Harvey. Bolts across the 35 to about the 38. Pickup of about 4 yards on the play. And a conversion down forthcoming as the tackle is made by 57 Corey McLeod.
Just a hard dive from the tailback, from a power eye. One of the things you want to do here, hopefully, Coach Mark Martin wants to see, and that is his team get a first down. You don't want to turn the ball over right away to McDonogh 35. You don't want to let your offense get put in a barn, so to say, all of a sudden shut it down now. They can't afford to do that.
On third down, option play to pitch to Quito. Nice job. He's still on his feet. First down and more across the 45 to the 46. A late hit there, but no flag was thrown. Quito has more than enough for the first down. A nice execution by Collada.
Well, you're going to see right there, he just runs the belly option right there, comes off on it, does a nice job pitching it out to Quito, and he's able to pick up the first down, and that's what the Raider offense needed right there. Yeah, just a little altercation there, you know, nothing much. That's part of the game.
Right. On the 46, first down and 10 yards to go. Full house backfield. And they give to Christian Harvey to about the 49. Harvey's a little bit more straight up and down runner than the other two Rummel backs. An angular looking sophomore to the 49. Be second and 7.
Kenny, that'll come with experience of him carrying the ball. He's just a little baby. This is sophomore, and I think he's really got a lot of football ahead of him. I know the coaches really like him. He's a coachable young man, and he's got a lot of ability.
Twin receivers to the left on second down, a short 8. They give to Quito with a hole across midfield to about the 47-yard line. He powers it ahead for about 5. Running behind the right side of that offensive line, Clayton Mooney. Darryl Bazzini over there doing the job. Nice with a good block.
Again, Rummel is just contented to keep the ball on the ground here and just grind it out.
Curtis
Nothing
Matthews
fancy.
also leading that play, 72. Third down, 3 yards to go from the 47. Everybody tight except for Carnegie, who's wide left. Keeper by Collada. Can he get outside? Yes. Collada cuts in, first down to about the 41-yard line. Just had enough speed to evade the diving attempt of number 42, Gerald Parker, and a good job by Collada, and it's a first and 10 Rummel at the 40.
Kenny, he just fakes the dive there, does a nice job, brings it on outside, and you see, as you just said, he's just able to get around the corner there and pick up that first down.
Notice how he had the ball on a correct arm, too. Always watch those things. On first down, counter play, Quito to the 36, perhaps. Pickup of about 4 before Dwayne Gehring makes the stop. Rummel just pounding away here and taking time off the clock in the process with 1:40 to play third quarter.
Well, that's what they wanted to do right after the touchdown here, to kind of reestablish themselves, take some time off the clock, and regain the momentum here that they lost a few seconds ago, a few minutes ago to McDonogh.
Second and 6 from the 36. Fake, Collada keeps, Collada cuts in nicely, sneaks through close to a first down. Needed the 30, he's just about there before he's wrapped up on the play by number 70 for McDonogh 35. And we'll see if it's a first down or not.
There he is right there. Again, it's off the trap or dive option that they run, which is really nice. Their execution is excellent. They do a pretty good job of getting the ball inside. Collada, I think, can do nothing but get better with this offense.
Rayvon Watson would made the stop. It's third down and less than a yard. Everybody tight. Collada sneaks. Collada gets a first down across the 30 to about the 29-yard line. Top of the pile is Corey McLeod for McDonogh 35, along with help from 67 Duran Frierson, and a first down and 10 at the McDonogh 35-29.
Kenny, Rummel on short yardage, if you notice, they've been giving you kind of a crazy slot there.
Yeah.
They're putting their backs between the guards and the tackles, which causes some problems for the defensive line.
Have noticed. First and 10, I formation. Heinz the carry. Heinz hit and dropped at about the 27. Probably was the final play of the quarter as Corey McLeod stops Johnny Heinz 10 seconds and counting here in the third quarter, and it will come to a close before another play will be run. So at the end of 3 quarters of play from Joe Yenny Stadium, here's our score. The Rummel Raiders 30 and the McDonogh 35, Ron Eagles 14. We'll be back with our 4th and final quarter of action on the Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. Brando Jim Clark from Joe Yenny Stadium, 30-14, Rummel on top. They play a 2nd down and 8 from the Ron Eagle 27-yard line. Wide to the left, Valenderas in the slot. Desidue, I formation behind Collada, and Desidue goes in motion. Off the fake, the option, Collada made the improper cut there as he had it inside and tried to dart outside and was caught in the process by Charles Gatlin. One of the few bad decisions he's made this evening.
Well, Kenny, that's the only one he's made that's bad. I guarantee you, he's done a great job of running it. As you said, he should have cut it up inside a little bit instead of taking it outside. But, boy, he's done a nice job for just a sophomore.
He really has. Easy for me to say, huh? 3rd down, about 8 yards to go. Collada off the fake, stops, looking, still looking. Carnegie wide open. Carnegie will score. But a flag is down, a late hit on Collada, who's on the ground, and we'll check that, and that's unfortunate. This could be disastrous for Rummel. 28-yard touchdown pass, Collada to Carnegie, and Collada took a late hit on the play and is down on the field.
And if we can see the replay on that, you're going to see he really did a nice job of holding the ball and waiting for Carnegie to make his move.
There it is.
He pumps once, then he holds the ball, steps it up inside, and then he's able to hit Carnegie on the post coming across the middle, and Carnegie just goes right into the end zone.
You could see the ball was clearly gone well before anybody was in the picture there to make a hit. So penalty indeed forthcoming, but more importantly for Rummel there, fans hold their collective breaths as the talented sophomore Rick Collada is down on the field being hovered over by the trainers, by the coaches, and everybody, as this is a tough situation indeed.
Well, that's right, Kenny. You don't want to lose your quarterback.
All right, with the injury on the field, we'll take time out with 11:22 to play in our score. Rummel 36, McDonogh 35-14. We'll be back in just a moment. So Rummel leads 36-14 over McDonogh 35. The good news is Collada was able to rise and was helped off the field under his own power. Looked like he might have had the either the wind knocked out of him or perhaps knocked a little dizzy, Henry.
Well, that's right, Kenny, and it took 12 plays, which they reestablished the line of scrimmage going 12 plays, 69 yards, and of course the pass from Collada again to Carnegie for his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon. So really a nice job there by the Rummel offense.
Yeah, you really made a good point about him waiting for that thing to come open. It wasn't there initially. His first receiver was covered, and he just waited for it to come open and showed a lot of poise in doing so, and give that Rummel offensive line a lot of credit.
Well, that's right, Kenny. You don't see too many sophomores. Most guys would have jammed it in there and would have thrown the interception. Instead, he just pumped the ball, held on there till Carnegie made his move, and then he hit him in there.
Collada now 5 for 5, 159 yards and 3 touchdowns in this football game.
Not a bad night.
I should say not. And a good look at the young man on the bench. Looks like he's going to be okay, Henry.
Well, I can tell you this, Kenny. I don't think his dad was ever a 5 for 5 guy. I can tell you. Of course, they didn't throw the ball too much with John Cowell back, and they ran what they called 246, which was the power play with Rappole and Smith. So
they just stuck it in your face.
Yeah,
basically.
they did.
Shoot a shoe, and they were some tough. The kickoff dies, picked up by Hakeem Sims. Sims finds some running room, across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. That's where McDonogh 35 will start this possession with 11:15 to play, trailing 36-14.
Well, there's no doubt what the Ron Eagles have to do here. They've got to come on out here and try to put the ball in the air. So Rummel knows it, 35 knows it, everybody in the stands knows they're going to put it in the air.
They've got the man to do it in Joey Jones. He's an excellent quarterback. Parker goes wide to the right. In the slot right is Hardy. Twin receivers to the left side. Hall and Turner on 1st down. The pitch to Sims. Gets a block, cuts it inside, takes a hit. Pickup of about 3 yards. It will be 2nd and 7 as Claypatch put the leather to the ball carrier Sims. All right, let's go down to the field for this injury update from Jim Clark. Jim?
In the play, the keep on your line. We're second down and 7.
All right, obviously we got problems with the audio there. We'll check that out. Second down at 7 yards to go. Rolling is Jones, stopping, rolling right now. He's basically got all day. Now he'll finally run. He will get a first down and takes a hit. Gets across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. First down, Joey Jones and McDonogh 35 as Bertuzzi puts the hat on him.
Well, he had enough time, Kenny. He was able to roll left, then roll right, then he decided to throw the ball. You're going to see him here. Jones, he's got all night. You really got to credit the Rummel secondary, though. They're doing a nice job there. Jones has to run the football. Nobody's open. And he picks up the first down.
The draw play again, and slipping through the tackle and diving close to the line of scrimmage is Edward Henderson. And the Raiders appear to have an injured player, and that might be Billy Barron, and I think it is.
Well, if he got hurt by his own guy, number 47, David Kilpatch. They kind of bumped into each other there as he kind of got swung around. You're going to see it right there. Barron gets swung around, and then he comes into Kilpatch there. So he's all right. He big man's okay. Just shaking up a little bit. Hey, give him a little water, and he's ready to go.
That's a lot of man there. And he's
right. Give him a lot of water, then let it go.
And fortunately for Rummel, and unfortunately for their opponents, he's only a junior.
Yes, he is. And he's got a lot of experience. He played 10 games last year, and he's knowing what the league is all about.
Second down at 10. Jones wants to throw. Feels the heat, rolls out. He's got speed. Stops, lofts it deep and out of bounds, incomplete. Coverage was there. Pass was intended for 86 Michael Hall, but good coverage on the play by the Raiders. 16, Trent Chevis was back there. For Rummel, it will be 3rd and 10. All right, let's go back down to the field of Jim Clark, and we'll get this injury update on Rick Collada. Jim?
Rummel quarterback Ricky Collada was shaken up on that last touchdown pass by a late hit. He seems to be okay. It was just a little dazed, but he'll be back in the ball game when the Raiders take over next time. Now back to you, Ken.
All right, thanks, Jim. Good news indeed for everyone involved. Third down, 10 yards to go. Jones rolling, stopping, throwing, a diving effort, incomplete. Sims almost came up with a great catch. Here's a late flag thrown. There's a McDonogh 35 player and a Rummel player engaged around midfield. I believe it's going to work against McDonogh 35. As the player being restrained out there. Probably a little frustration. Looked like might have been Sean Jones. It was. Engaging with a player in red. Let's get the call.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the red team.
That's actually on Rummel. No wonder he was being restrained. And you know that Mark Martin can't like that at all. With a 36-14 lead, he's going to give McDonogh 35 a first down in Raider territory.
That's exactly what's going to happen, Kenny. They're going to pick up the first down, and that's really not necessary. And again, I agree with you. I know Coach Martin is not happy about that.
So it gives the Ron Eagles new life. It would have been 4th and 10. It's 1st and 10 instead from the Rummel 38. Jones gives to Henderson with running room going right. 35 to about the 32. Nice pickup of about 6 yards for Henderson before Walter Dabdoob is able to make the stop. With about 9 minutes to play in the game, this is a potent offense. They can do some damage.
They don't do a lot of things. They're not real fancy, Kenny, but they do what they do. They do it well. And again, Jones is in control, and of course, like we said all day long, he can hurt you at any time with the pass.
On 2nd and 4, they fake the draw this time. Jones rolls, stops, gets outside. He can run, stops, throws instead deep, incomplete. And that time he probably should have run. He would have had a first down. Threw into triple coverage instead.
Absolutely, Kenny had plenty of room there. He just made a bad decision there. He should have gone ahead and just tucked it underneath. And they're going to call the ball as an illegal forward pass.
Saying he was across the line of scrimmage, I'm sure.
That's correct.
He was awfully close, I know that much. If we get a chance to watch again, you see, here it is right here. Yeah, it looks like he's a yard past it. You saw the 30-yard line marker. Line of scrimmage was the 33. It was awfully close, I'll tell you. Very close. It's a tough call to make, but it was very close. Penalty marked off against the Ron Eagles here. 5-yarder. She's airborne.
And a loss of down.
3rd down and about 7 as a result. Nice catch by the cheerleaders there.
Right. Kenny, Miss Rose Starnett's down there under the scoreboard. She's a big Raider fan, been making games now since 1967.
Yeah, I'd say that's a while. That's
yes.
like the first team, huh?
Right. Well, it's the first team in the Catholic League.
Right. From the 36, third down, 7 yards to go for McDonogh 35. Twin receivers on either side as Jones takes the snap. Under pressure now. Really giving some ground. He'll have to get it off and does, and it's almost intercepted. Broken up nicely on the play. Looked like Ronnie Bertucci, 48.
No, that was Mikey Ryan.
Mike Ryan, 49, okay. Ryan, 49, making the play. We'll see it again.
Well, you're going to see right there, Jones, he just runs around out there. He's getting a lot of pressure there.
Toby Dempsey.
Toby Dempsey, that's correct. And boy, Mikey Ryan almost comes up with an interception there. Does a nice job coming into front of the receiver. So, big possession down now for the Ron Eagles.
This is really their last gasp, you'd have to say. With 8:27 to play, down by 22, fourth down, 7 yards to go. Jones will have to come up with some magic here. Rummel will only rush 3. Jones steps up, he can run if he will. Flag down, and he breaks a tackle, gets a first down and more. Down to about the 17-yard line is Joey Jones on a fine individual effort. There is a flag down, however, and we'll have to wait for that. I think it's on Rummel, however.
Well, we're going to see right now with Mr. Marial, when we see Jones there, he just kind of picks his way through.
We have holding. Holding on the defense on a running play. We're going to have 10 additional yards.
All right, so 10 additional yards following the play, so that really gives the Ron Eagles a ball in great shape here. 8:15 to play. This offense is potent. They've done some damage. Problem is they haven't been able to stop Rummel.
Kenny, they should go half the distance to the goal here. They're inside the 20.
It'll actually be spotted at about the 8-yard line following the penalty. So McDonogh 35 will have a first and goal situation from about the 8 with 8:15 to play. If they are able to get it in here, I'd have to believe they'd go for 2 and probably onside kick. All right, split backs. Jones, the quarterback, on first and goal. They call it the 9-yard line officially. The high snap they give to Sims, gets a block, bounces it outside, cuts it in. He's inside the 5 and down to about the 3, and a nice run by Hakeem Sims, where Ryan can finally get there defensively. Good effort by Sims. It will be second and goal.
Now, Sims does a nice job of reading the block there. He bounces outside, shakes one tackler, picks up some valuable yardage there. And, of course, one of the things that you mentioned, Kenny, was that they do a nice job offensively. They're in, McDonogh 35. They're not really showing a lot tonight because of Rummel, but they will be a contender in the state playoffs.
From the 3, second down. Henderson wide open, touchdown. Nobody touches him. Edward Henderson from 3 yards out, and McDonogh 35 cuts the lead to 36-20. 7:28 to play.
Kenny, they're 16 points down. Let's see what happens here. They're going to go for 1.
And that's understandable. They cut it to 15, and they'll worry about the 2 later. Of course, if they went for 2 here, they could cut it to 14. A couple of ways to think about it. Ball down, kick in the air by Rhodes, and he got it. It snuck through there just over the left upright. So a timeout on the field with 7:28 to play. Our score, Rummel 36 points on the board. Rummel 36, McDonogh 35. 21. Rummel expecting the onside kick. Sondre Rhodes will kick it. The Raiders have 9 men up close with 2 men deep, Ryan and Cuito.
Well, Kenny, it was an 11-play, 69-yard drive, so impressive for the Ron Eagles.
Let's see if Rhodes elects to onside kick it. He does not. He kicks it deep. Cuito has to retreat to near the goal line. Back upfield to the 10. Inside, he barely reaches the 20, where he goes down, and that's where Rummel will start this possession with 7:20 to play, leading 36-21.
Well, you see Cuito just catches the ball on the 2-yard line. He's able to get upfield, just tries to flick the ball back to the 20-yard line, and he does that.
All right, Kevin Carnegie is going to be the quarterback on this possession. Of course, Galata got dinged earlier on a late hit, and I think they're probably keeping him out more for precautionary measures than anything else, Henry.
I think so, Ken. He looks all right. I'm looking at him on the sideline, standing next there to Coach Schaefer.
All right, Renner and Harvey are the running backs as they go with a different look, and they give it to Harvey with a hole across the 25 to about the 28, running left. Christian Harvey looks to have a bright future, picks up about 8 yards. It will be 2nd down and 2. McDonogh 35 still has a chance in this football game, Henry, but they've got to get him stopped.
They do, Ken, they really do. Harvey does a nice job in there, runs the counter. Picks up really 7, almost 8 yards there on the 1st down. Really a nice play for a 1st down.
It will be 2nd down and a long 2. 28-yard line, I formation behind Carnegie, who gives it to Renner, who has a 1st down and more. Pablo Renner splits the seam. Oh, a touchdown saving tackle made by Gilbert Cook, 29, and Pablo Renner stuck it in there good. He's a big guy at 6 foot 210, coming at you from that fullback slot, a senior.
And he does something really that you like to see when you run the trap, and that is once you make your cut, you get up there and you pick up that linebacker where the linebacker was blocked, and he does exactly the way it's drawn on a piece of paper.
From the 48-yard line, 1st down, 10 yards to go for Rummel. In the I formation, the counter play. Harvey fumbles. McDonogh 35 has it at the 48-yard line, it appears. Ron Eagles say they have it. I believe they do. Or do they? Now the officials say Rummel has it. That's hard to believe. But they do. Harvey comes up with a football, and I don't know how.
Well, the ball had to bounce off the McDonogh guy's shoulder pad right into his hands for him to get the ball back.
Somehow the sophomore did come up with it, though, with 5:20 to play, and Rummel averts disaster here. 2nd down and about 9 yards to go. Motion man is Saucier, and a flag down, and see what this is all about. Didn't see anything.
Start on the offensive line.
Say it's a false start. Didn't see anything myself, Henry, but it's going to cost Rummel 5 yards. Official discusses it with 79 Kevin Walters, a senior who's in there. I don't think he believes it. Kevin Walters, by the way, is an honor roll student. He's a very fine student at Rummel. 5'11", 225-pound senior. Under 5 minutes to play now, 36-21. 2nd down and 14 for Rummel from their own 44-yard line. Twin receivers to the left side. Raiders would like to keep it simple. Saucier in motion. They give to Harvey, breaks 1 tackle, gets it up to about the 47-yard line for a pickup of 3, and then is dusted off in tough fashion by Jermaine Lewis, number 10. It will be 3rd down and 11 on the 43-yard line. Call it the 42.
Kenny Harvey's really getting a baptism tonight. He's getting an opportunity to carry the football. So right now we're playing 3rd down. Be interested to see what Kevin Carnegie's got up his sleeve.
Nice to have the luxury of a senior quarterback who started last year as your backup. On 3rd down and 11 yards to go. Carnegie with the snap. To give to the fullback Renner. Fights his way into McDonogh 35 territory to about the 45. He is short of a 1st down by 3 yards, however, and Rummel will face a rare punting situation with 3:53 to play. Making the stop was 57, Corey McLeod. And Bertucci will come in to punt it away. Renner's pretty tough.
Yes, he is. He's really got nice size, Kenny, for a fullback. So the Raiders are going to elect the punt here.
They swing their punt team onto the field. Bertucci is the man to handle those duties. Remember, he had a high snap earlier. Parker is deep to receive. Anthony Parker standing around his 10-yard line. Here's another high snap. Good job by Bertucci of pulling it down. Line drive, fair catch. Nice job by Parker at about the 17. So the Ron Eagles, with 3:09 to play, will need 2 scores and at least 1 2-point conversion to pull this one out of the fire, trailing 36-21. Don't forget, immediately following this one, our Cox Cable AAA Trophies Player of the Game. Lots of candidates for that one, and we'll just reserve judgment until the outcome's decided here. First and 10, McDonogh 35 from the 17-yard line. Joey Jones with a spread formation once again. And again, the play is stopped. Flags are down. That's going to work against McDonogh 35.
False start on the goal tee.
5 yards will set them back. It'll be first and 15. Joey Jones, the quarterback. Blitz on, he rolls away from it, throws, pass incomplete. Nice job by Walter Dabdoob of defensing the pass, which was intended for Erston Roberts. And Henry Rummel's been laying back, rushing only 3 men, and they've given up a couple of scores this half. That time they attacked, and it helped make a play.
Well, Kenny, I really like their scheme, what they're doing defensively. They're putting man on the 4 receivers and then playing a 3 deep zone, not to give them the big play.
Jones to pass, rolling, stopping, throwing short, and the receiver dropped right away in his tracks. Wilbur Turner had nowhere to go. Turner was hit by Dabdoob once again. It'll be third and 15, and the clock running with 2:42 and counting. Dabdoob's made a lot of stops, but he always does. Jones out of the shotgun again. Throws sideline, too tall, incomplete. It will be 4th down and 15 yards.
Well, that's right, Kenny. It kind of surprised me, even though they're backed up in their own end zone here, about on the 10, 12-yard line with 2:27, unless they're going to fake it.
Flag down. I think they may have blown a play dead. No, they didn't. The kick is off, fielded by Ryan, midfield. Nice cut, 45. In trouble now, and he'll go down at about the 45. There is a flag down on the play. Unless it's against Rummel, but the Raiders can pretty much run this clock out on this possession. Let's see. Illegal procedure, the call against McDonogh 35. Raiders will probably decline the penalty here and just take the football. No chance in gambling. Rummel will have the ball, first and 10 from the McDonogh 35 45-yard line with 2 minutes and 14 seconds to play. Rummel appears well on their way to their 5th win against 3 defeats. That will eclipse their win total of last year when they were 4-6. Down at 35 will apparently drop to 4-4. Carrigy, the quarterback, with Renner and Harvey behind him. I formation, twin receivers left, but they'll keep it on the ground here. Harvey into the secondary, look out. Harvey fighting for big yardage. First down, Rummel down to about the 23-yard line.
Well, that's really a nice play. You really got to credit the people up front on that. They ran the counter tray. They pulled both the guard and the tackle. You're going to see it at the top of your picture. There's a huge hole there for Harvey to run. Nice downfield blocking. Just a great job overall by the Raiders.
Parker holding on for dear life to make the stop. A gain of 22 yards for Harvey, who's an impressive young player. Timeout, Ron Eagles with 1:36 to play. We'll keep it right here. 36-21 our score. Don't forget, immediately following this one, Jim Clark with our AAA Trophies Cox Cable Player of the Game presentation, too. I'd have to say Rick Collada, Henry. I don't know about yourself. Speak up.
I agree with you.
Okay.
I think he's had an excellent night.
Although Kevin Carrigy, who stepped in the quarterback's been huge as well with 3 touchdown catches, 3 receptions, 129 yards. Tell you what, it's not an easy decision. They've had a lot of big play men out there this evening. But in a pinch here, I've got to say Collada. You'll go with it as well. So Rick Collada, number 11, will be our Cox Cable AAA Trophies Player of the Game here this evening with a splendiferous effort. Try that one on.
I'm not even going to try that. Not with the oral surgery I had this week. Ain't no way.
Making up words as we go along. Christian Harvey making up a lot of yardage here. First down, Rummel, down to about the 11-yard line as the offensive line just chopping holes.
And they just came right back with the same play. There's Bob Harvey, that's Christian's daddy, who had 2 older brothers go to Rummel. You're talking about family affair. Kenny, he had 2 brothers that were baseball players at on Severn Avenue.
First down, 10 from the 12 with 1:12 to go. High formation this trip. Strong side right. They give to Renner with a hole. Renner bounces inside the 5 to about the 3. Renner with a pickup of about 9 yards. It'll be second down and about 1. The clock winding down under a minute to play. Question now is, will Rummel score again or not? They'll probably have 1 more snap, maybe 2, and that's all.
Kenny, the way they're running the football right now, I really got to feel like they're going to put another 7 on the board. Just depending on who they're going to give it to here. Will they give it to Harvey or they give it to Renner?
On second and 1 from the 3. It's Harvey off the right side, close to the goal mouth. First down and goal to go at about the 1. And Rummel may or may not have to snap the football again, Henry.
Well, he picks up the first down, Kenny. The ball's resting on the 1-yard line.
Rummel will try to score here, and I'll tell you why. Because of a potential tie situation, points are one of the tiebreakers. First and goal from the 1. 19 seconds left. Carnegie lost the football, and I think Rummel covered it with 14 seconds left, but that'll end the game, so they don't score.
Well, they're not going to put it on right now. 8-7. They're going to run the clock out here.
So they kind of rushed that. Carnegie kind of mishandled the snap, and this ball game is over. They needed the points not, because they had plenty enough to hold on to win this one. 36-21 over McDonogh 35. The Raiders have wanted to go to 5-3. McDonogh 35 drops to 4-4. We'll be back in just a moment with our Cox Cable AAA Trophy. Raiders 36, the McDonogh 35 Ron Eagles 21. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando. Let's go down to the field now for our Cox Cable AAA Trophies Player of the Game presentation. Here's Jim Clark.
A great victory for the Rummel Raiders, and with me is the Cox Cable AAA Trophy Player. It's Ricky Collada. Ricky, what a game. What do you have to say about it?
I thought the offensive line blocked great just to give me the time to throw the ball. And that was unbelievable. I was surprised.
You were shaken up on a late hit late in the game. Are you all right? And why didn't you go back in?
I'm fine. That was the coach's decision, I guess. I felt fine. Just, I don't know.
All right. Well, very good. Congratulations. Coach, you said that we talked earlier this week that you were going to have to play your brand of ball. Did it happen?
Well, we started off a little slow in the beginning. McDonogh 35, you got to give them a lot of credit. They're a great football team. We've seen them several games this year come back from behind. And in fact, they were down one time 28-7 in one ball game, came back and won at 29-28. So we knew they had a great quarterback, great receiving corps, and we knew we were going to be in for a fight. And if we just stopped, we had to outscore them.
I think one of the keys to the game was early in the game, you had the best field position. They had no field position. I don't think they even got past their own 20.
Right, field position is a big thing for us. You know, we lost the ball game on field position at the beginning of the year, and we made a decision we weren't going to do that again. But
all right, Coach, congratulations, and onward and upward for the rest of the season. All right, down on the field, I'm Jim Clark, and it's been great. Kenny, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jim, for some good work. Sounds like Jim knows some of the words to the Rummel fight song there, Henry. Onward and upward, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you've heard it enough.
I guess I have. What I've also heard enough of and seen enough of is the fact that Rummel's a good football team. They proved that again here this evening. They seem to be well on their way to a playoff spot, which would be the first time since 1985.
Well, Kenny, there's no question about it. They really did a great job in the offensive line tonight. They didn't make any mistakes. And again, go back to their kicking game, which was perfect.
McDonogh 35, a game effort. They came from behind, put 21 points on the board. They've got enough offensive capability. It's going to have to be defense that's going to have to get them over the hump if they're going to make the playoffs.
Well, I think they're going to be in the playoffs. I think they met a good football team tonight. I think they can go back and they can judge what they have to do the rest of the season and prepare for those playoffs.
Henry, as always, it's been fun.
Well, Kenny, I enjoyed it tonight. It was kind of, good to see the Raiders play tonight. They played very, very well. So,
all right, we remind you that next week we'll be at Hoss-Memphis Stadium, West Jefferson and East Jefferson, one of the oldest rivalries around. Until then, for our outstanding crew here this evening, and director-producer Jamie Landry, for Jim Clark and Henry Rando, I'm Ken Trahan. Thanks for joining us, and until next week, so long for just a while.